Welcome to part 2 of this video series of automating teacher observations. You can customize this information to help automate the workflow of any sort of observation system, any sort of Google form that goes into a spreadsheet and you want to do things with that data, such as generate documents or send emails. That's the gist behind what we're doing here. So if you're just joining us, we've created a teacher observation form that looks like this. Administrators choose their name as they're performing an observation. They put the teacher's name here, the teacher's email address here, and they score them on these items. They type in a paragraph of summary text if they want, and they submit it. All that data ends up in this spreadsheet. We have created a special column that finds the total of their scores. In our last video number 1, we learned how to use the copy down add-on to copy this formula down into every subsequent form submission. By the nature of Google Forms, formulas do not copy down as new submissions come in, so we have to use a special add-on to make that happen. In this video then, we're going to use the FormMule add-on to generate a pretty nice looking email summary of this observation that will go to both the teacher and to the administrator. So let's get started. Under the add-ons menu, we're going to go down to FormMule. Again, if you don't have the FormMule add-on, just go down to where it says Get Add-ons, do a search for FormMule, and install it into your Google Sheets. Once it's there forever, and you can use it anytime you like. I'm going to launch FormMule, and we're going to customize and set this up. First, we need to select the sheet that contains the email addresses that we want to email from, and that is our form responses sheet. So let's select that. And now we can determine when FormMule will be triggered. Will it be triggered each time the form is submitted, or will it be triggered periodically? There will be a time when we want to do it on a timer like this. For right now, we're going to have it happen each time a form is submitted. So we'll turn that on. And we can optionally log a case number in the spreadsheet for each submission, and I'm just going to do that. Next, we're going to set up our email template and determine who is going to receive it. So I'm going to just use one email template, and I'm going to call this email admin and teacher. That's going to be the name of my template, and I'm just going to save that template setting. And the trickiest part of all of this is creating our template. I'm going to go to edit the template. And here we can find tags. These are actually the columns that came from our spreadsheet data. So you'll see these here. And we're going to use these to create a nice looking email. So first of all, we have to determine who is going to receive the email. Well, we definitely want the teacher's email. So we're going to click to add that there. And we can put a comma in and put in the administrator's email. And right away I see a problem. We don't have the administrator's email in our spreadsheet. Let's close this for right now. Notice we have the name of the administrator, but we don't have the administrator's email address. We have the teacher's email address. How are we going to get the administrator's email address? Well, we could edit our form to have the administrator select their name and then also put in their email address. But let's do something a little bit techier, shall we? Let's go back to our spreadsheet and create a new sheet. And I'm going to rename this sheet Admin Email. And in this sheet, I'm going to list the names of the administrators. And I'm going to, in column B, put their email addresses. Okay, so I have a list of the administrator names and the email addresses that belong to them. We're going to add a formula to our spreadsheet that's going to look at this data, find the appropriate email address, and put it in a column here. Let's go right next to the administrator performing. Let's add a column to the right. And I'm going to name that admin email. So in row 2, if you remember our first video, we did this total formula in row 2. We're going to put a formula in row 2 right under this admin email as well. We're going to use a lookup function. Looks like this. So the first bit of this argument is, what is the search key we're going to be looking for? Well, we're going to tell this vlookup function to look at the name that's here, then find the corresponding email address here. So let's just build this out. I'm going to tell it to look at that first, and then the range that it should look at is this right here. And the index then, the column index of the value to be returned. We want it to return whatever is in the second column here, column B. So let's just put a 2 there. The last bit of this formula is to indicate whether the column that we're searching is sorted or not. And for this to work properly for us, we have to add a 0 to indicate it's not sorted. So there's our final formula, our lookup formula. It's going to look at this. It's going to go to this sheet, find the corresponding email. This is the second column. And it's going to display that email address here. Now, if we copy this formula down, we will see that it's performing exactly as we would like. Now, the next time we submit the form, though, it's not going to magically copy that formula down. We need to, again, use the copy down add-on. So we've already got the copy down add-on working for our total column. Let's also have it do the same thing for the admin email. Let's save those settings and go test it, shall we? Just close that for now. Let's go back to our form. Let's do a Rick Jones. All of our data came in here. You will see that copy down did indeed put the correct email address in there for us. It's the actual email address. It's not the formula. The formula doesn't copy down, just the value. And again, our total over here did the same thing. The formula didn't copy down, just the value. So that's perfect. All right, now that we have the administrator's email address, we are able to go and set up our FormMule again. Back to add-ons, FormMule. We're going to build our templates. So this is the step we left off on earlier. I've got the teacher's email address in there, and let's also put in the admin email address. The subject. And you can see how I'm just putting in tags representing the columns from the spreadsheet into our email. Now notice the body is HTML friendly, so we can use paragraph tags and line breaks and bold and all that stuff here. So let's just craft something here that might be useful. Now you'll notice as I'm adding the tags, it's also adding a label with the tag. Sometimes that's handy. Right now, as I'm building a paragraph of text, this is annoying. So I am deleting the labels, so all I have is the tag. And here we're just going to, I'm going to add these items. That'll be the score of the classroom management, organization, rapport, grooming habits, their total, and then that summary. Here's where we could really use some HTML. If I want these labels to be bold, I'm going to use the bold tag like so. Okay, now I'm really not going to send to those fake email addresses. Let me put my for real email address in here so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to preview it. So that was the first one. This is the second one. It's going to look like this. And here's one of them that has some summary data in it. Okay, I'm going to send that now. And remember, earlier we set this to happen each time a form is submitted. So let's go take a look at my email. Okay, you can see that these summary emails have come into my inbox. I'm going to just open one. We'll take a look at it. Here's that bold label text here. So those items showed up exactly as I would expect. This data came in as a result of those tags that we added to the template. And down here is the summary text that we had submitted earlier. So let's just ensure then that it's working each time I submit. We'll submit one more response here. I am John Smith. I'm observing Santa Claus. And I'm going to give him good grades because I want cool stuff for Christmas. All right, so I'll submit that. That row of data shows up in my spreadsheet. The administrator's email address gets looked up from this sheet and put in column C. The total happens right here. And I get an email. Summary of observation for Santa Claus. I open that up and I see all of the scoring, all of the information that I expect to see. So my email is indeed working. That is FormMule at work. Next, we'd like to generate some editable and printable Google Docs that the administrator can use as sort of a permanent record of this observation. That'll be the next video.